Ladies and gentlemen, well, what do we have here? Are we paving the way? Are we paving the way for Brighton, for them to get Kudus, and perhaps that will allow them to open up the opportunity for us to get Moses Caicedo? I mean, 34.5 million. This is apparently going to be a club record for Brighton in order to get Kudus. And they just, I know they've got a lot of cash in recent times from player sales. From us, they've got a lot of money, and from others as well. But they're a selling club. They just don't make this level of transaction, not knowing that there's some immense money coming their way. Let's go. All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. Welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Brighton reach agreement to sign Kudus for 34.5 million, coming from David Ornstein. I mean, Brighton, they've been interested in Kudus. Obviously, 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, we saw our connection with Kudus and everyone got excited. I got excited as well. Kind of made sense because Kudus can play multiple roles, but most importantly, can play as a central attacking midfielder. And I've always said we probably need one more player up front in terms of the attack, and that being, Christopher Nkunku's rotational piece. So Kudus obviously can play that central attacking midfield, can potentially play up front as a striker, false line, whatever you want to have it, and on the left side on the wings as well. And it kind of made sense. But over the last few days, Michael Olise's news has been, floating up in the surface, and it seems like Chelsea's more keen on him. And now this news, which we knew Brighton was always interested in Kudus, and it is a club record. It will be a club record signing for Brighton, which makes me think, look, Brighton, as I said, regardless of all the money that they've collected in recent times from player sales, obviously this season they've already got rid of McAllister and maybe a couple of other players, but and they would have collected money from that. But they've spent quite a lot of money. João Pedro, their new striker, is the current club record at £30 million, I believe. And for them to bring someone like Kudus in, I just get the feeling they're a selling club, which makes me think that they potentially know that they're going to get rid of Caicedo and they're going to bag a lot of money. Question is how much. I think Chelsea will go up to 90 million. Maybe that might be the case. Hopefully we don't hit the 100. Oh, who knows? For me at the moment, it don't matter. Like, we need Caicedo, but this is a good news, ladies and gentlemen, where Brighton's going for Kudus, which I think will potentially start the domino effect where we get Caicedo, and obviously, the fact that Brighton's got Kudus, I think we are going to be getting Michael Olise as the other player that we want up front. Caicedo obviously in midfield, and Michael Olise is someone who can definitely play on the right side and through central areas as well where Nkunku plays. So watch this space. I think soon we're going to start seeing things. Look, we keep saying soon, and then nothing happens. But now it's crunch time. Liverpool game just a week away. Week from now, we are playing Liverpool, and if we can get Caicedo in before that, that is huge. I believe the Premier League team needs to be registered by Friday afternoon UK time, so we have to have Caicedo at the latest Thursday, and if we don't have him by Thursday, it's gonna be absolutely we're gonna have to brace ourselves against Liverpool, and then hope that Enzo and Gallagher pivot really works out. I can't see how Andre Santos starts. I think Pochettino has kind of alluded on the fact that the team that started against Dortmund is potentially going to be more or less the team that's going to start against Liverpool. Sterling will probably start as well. Check this out. Fabrizio Romano with a little eye emoji and a wink. This is off the back of this news in regards to Brighton. Obviously today, David Ornstein came out and put that dagger that looks like Brighton has found personal terms agreement with Kudus. But yesterday, in case Brighton sell Caicedo and have big money, keep an eye out for them with Kudus. This is what Fabrizio said yesterday, and then off the back of that, PYS sort of put out a particular GIF out there, and today, look at this, Mr. Fabrizio Romano, and this is off the back of what David Ornstein had said as well. So Fabrizio has been on top of this particular news from the get-go, and it seems like it's moving in the way that Brighton were kind of waiting to get that player, Kudus. Obviously, our interest in Kudus didn't help their cause, but maybe it helped us to sort of, I don't know, under the table sort of negotiation that, hey, we won't pursue Kudus. It is one of our interests. We allow you to have a straight, clean path to Kudus. You now open up the path for Caicedo. So let's see, ladies and gentlemen, some interesting development happening. We need to get this sorted ASAP. Now, in regards to Michael Olise, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the news, I don't know if many of you guys know what the injury situation is for Michael Olise. So I wanted to do a little bit of reading on it. So we're going to showcase that. It is somewhat serious, his injury. So as much as I like the player, I've always liked Michael Olise from Crystal Palace. Whenever I watch Crystal Palace, there's only a few players that I would notice. That's Michael Olise, Eze, Zaha, Marquis, perhaps, when Conor Gallagher was there, Conor Gallagher. So I've always had a keen interest on Olise. This transfer window, I just thought that could just made a little bit more sense for what we want to do, but looks like that's not going to happen, and focus is fully on Michael Olise. So we have to understand what the injury situation is. But before we do that, Chelsea have made a verbal offer of around 30 million euros for Michael Olise. His release clause is around 40 million. So I'm not sure how we're doing that. If the release clause is 40 million, maybe we're trying to take advantage of that injury that he has. They're waiting to learn more about the evolution of his injury before making a written proposal. The player and Chelsea have agreed terms in principle. Terms in principle, this is coming from Fabrice Hawkins, who is number one when it comes to French players and their news. So, look. Good player. I've got no issues with him. I'm just concerned about this injury, which I'm going to highlight to you guys. And at 30 million euros, if we can get him around that sort of vicinity, and even at that release clause of 40 million euros, I think that's approximately about 35 million. That would be sensational. That really would be. Michael Olise can play from the right, can play through the central positions as well. He is creative. He can score goals. He can take set pieces. He's a damn good player, damn good young player, plays for France under 21s. And that is where, ladies and gentlemen, where the injury happened. Michael Olise currently has a slight preference for Chelsea over Man City. If you guys know, Michael Olise was part of the Chelsea Academy as a youngster. So maybe there is some sort of a sentimental emotional value there. Michael Olise injury. Crystal Palace manager Roy Hodgson issues update on striker. This article that I found from Google was from the 19th of July, I believe. There you go, 19th July. So it is a couple of weeks old now. But this is what it said. The young star suffered a tear to his hamstring while playing for France at last month's under 21 Euros, and he's since undergone surgery. So there's been surgery as well. So he tore his hamstring. Apparently it was a grade 3 tear, and there's been surgery. It's a blow for both player and the club, with Olise's best football last season coming once Hodgson returned caretaker manager for Crystal Palace's final 10 games of the season. So look, they don't expect him to start the season because he's still recovering. It was a big injury. He tore his hamstring, much like I think what Chilwell did, and he's undergone surgery. I'm a bit iffy about these sort of situations. Firstly, how long? Yeah, we are in August now, so this news was 19th of July. It's only been a couple of weeks. How far is he into his rehabilitation in regards to this, injury? What is the expected return? And once he does return, like how long till he gets match fit? Because no, preseason for him, so it's going to take a bit of time for him to get match fit. So I estimate, look, if he's probably going to miss out on whole of August, he's not going to be here for the August, and there's probably going to be an international break. I think it's going to be somewhere around September, where slowly he'll start getting the match fitness and start training with the team, and then maybe come off the bench wherever he is, whether he's in Crystal Palace, whether he's with us. And I think that's probably what we're going to see. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know. Like, how you feel about this? Me, I'm not really sure, man. I mean, I guess we don't need Olise. No, we do need someone, right? We do need. Well, Ian Maatsen will probably fill in for the time being. We've got some Ian Maatsen news. Ian Maatsen staying at Chelsea Football Club, so maybe there isn't an immediate need for Olise to kick things off at Chelsea. Maybe we can wait a little bit longer. But then Madueke as well. He hasn't had a preseason. He's been injured. He's got a little bit of injury history. So that right side, and Angela Gabriel, the news is he's going to stay. He's not going to stay. He's going to go to Strasbourg. He's going to go stay at Chelsea. I don't know. So on that right side, I think we might have to be stuck with Raheem Sterling for the time being, and maybe Chelsea are okay to wait around for Michael Olise, and they might just do that transaction. So let me know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen, how you feel about all of this. Michael Olise to Chelsea, that injury issue. Are you willing to wait? That price tag seems quite tantalizing. Let me know. Let me know. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea's plan is for Sanchez to compete with Kepa, but for Sanchez to take over in due time. So Chelsea has announced Robert Sanchez. So check that out. Official announcement has been made. He's a Chelsea goalkeeper. Look, not my first preference, but I have no doubt I think he's going to take over Kepa. 7-year deal as well. So it's a long-term deal that he has struck with Chelsea Football Club. 25-year-old goalkeeper. I think the Brighton connection that we have, in terms of the goalkeeping coach and Carl McCauley and Paul Winstanley, that's definitely favored him in this situation. Not going to lie, but I don't mind him as a goalkeeper. I've seen quite a bit of him during his time when Graham Potter was the manager at Brighton. Brighton, when they build up, he was a key cog in their build-up. So we'll see. We'll see how this all pans out. I do think he's going to take over Kepa. Look, I don't think he's a lot better than Kepa, but I think in terms of us with the ball, he's a little bit more superior than Kepa. I don't even think a little bit. I think he's far more superior than Kepa. And in terms of shot stopping, I think they're both just as good. But this guy is taller, so you'd think his reach is going to be there for those long ranges. So let's see what happens. As I said, I do feel Robert Sanchez will take over eventually from Kepa, and then maybe next summer we get rid of Kepa. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Crystal Palace are closing in on Lewis Hall from Chelsea, and talks are advanced. It will be a loan. Hall is expected to extend his contract at Chelsea before leaving. And this was coming from Fabrizio Romano, but apparently the case is he may not extend that contract as yet. So, look, first of all, good loan. I think he can. Look, he wants to play in midfield. I think he will get an opportunity in Crystal Palace to get game time in midfield. But I hope Lewis Hall doesn't disregard himself for the quality that he's shown from left back. Do you know what I mean? Some of his crossing, I don't know whether he's going to be able to do that in midfield unless he sort of drifts out wide a little bit. But from a left back position, some of his crossings are very, very good. And you shouldn't disregard that, because that's a bit of an attacking prowess for him. So, they have Tarek Mitchell, I believe, in Crystal Palace, who's not really an attacking type of a left back. He's more of a defensive type of a left back. Lewis Hall could potentially, as I said, should not sort of pigeonhole himself just to play in midfield, because that's all he's done. But he has shown quality on the left back position. So let's see what happens there. But a little bit more in regards to Lewis Hall. This is coming from Felix. Exclusive: Lewis Hall will join Crystal Palace on loan for the season, but it is now increasingly likely he will not sign a long-term extension before leaving. Hall has 3 years left. So currently he has 3 years left in his contract. So maybe he just feels that, let's just see what happens. Let's see what pans out. Let's see down the track. There is a position available at Chelsea. Ian Maatsen has made his opportunity count. Yes, Hall probably will have to follow that footstep. After a 1-year option was triggered this summer, but he does not want to sign a new contract yet. Chelsea initially planned on keeping Hall as a squad player this season, but the player wanted to play week in, week out. So that's good. And I've said it. No point in keeping Hall as a squad player if we're not going to be able to give him minutes. Rather him go somewhere, develop, play week in, week out, and really demand a position next season. Chelsea had no intention to sell, with top clubs interested, so a loan was agreed. Chelsea will hope to convince the player and agree a long-term contract. So look, 3 years left in his contract. We will have to do something by the end of this upcoming season. There'll only be 2 more years left, so we'll have to find something. But at the same time, keen to see how he does at Crystal Palace. I'm actually quite positive that he's gonna do very, very well. So let's see what happens there. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Exclusive from Felix again. Ian Maatsen has verbally offered a new contract by Chelsea through his agents. Maatsen was up for sale at the beginning of the window for 25 million, but valuation not met. And after impressing in pre-season, he is set to stay in the first team squad if contract is agreed. This is sensational. I love a story like this where a young player, been loaned out, worked his backsides off, and been loaned out in a couple of different clubs, not just one club last season in Burnley where he absolutely blew up. But prior to that, he was in Coventry and many other different clubs as well. So he has shown patience. He has shown grit. He has shown the desire to make it at Chelsea. And so happy for him that he's been absolutely lighting it up in the preseason, goals, assists. And you know what? When we think about Nkunku being injured and we think about Olise, Kudus, this, that, the other, we should start thinking about Ian Maatsen. Ian Maatsen will probably play in that Nkunku role just behind Jackson and see if he can produce those passes. I feel like Ian Maatsen understands Jackson's game a little bit more. He does try to look for Jackson a lot more. That assist in the preseason for Jackson was fantastic. And, against Dortmund as well, when Ian Maatsen came on, he was once again trying to look for Jackson immediately. Chukwuemeka in that position, he's more of a ball carrier. But I think hopefully Chukwuemeka does understand that the idea is to find Jackson up front. That's the idea. The link up between Jackson and the attacking players is the name of the game. So Ian Maatsen, I feel like he understands that a little bit more. Not saying that Chukwuemeka won't. I hope he does, because it looks like Chukwuemeka might stick around and we'll probably need a little bit more depth in midfield. We're a bit thin. But Ian Maatsen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy. I am so happy. And against Liverpool, he has to start for me. He definitely has to start. Where Nkunku, it looks like it'll be Mudryk on the left side. Nkunku was playing initially on the left side, but then he got off and Mudryk came on. But I think with a rejig sort of system, Mudryk will be on the left, Ian Maatsen just behind Jackson, and then you're probably going to have Sterling on the right side. Even though I don't want Sterling, in all honesty, I'd rather even have Chukwuemeka there or even Angelo Gabriel. But we'll see what happens. But it is going to be Sterling. It's going to be Sterling on that right side. Noni Madueke definitely is not ready. So Ian Maatsen, congratulations, my man. You absolutely thoroughly deserved it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section how you feel about this situation with Ian Maatsen. He fully deserves a new contract, and I like his attacking skill set. Absolutely love it. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, just quickly, I just want to bring this forward. So yeah, some people, if you have feeling that Felix doesn't tell the truth, trust me, there's a lot of things Felix gets right, and this is off the back, Nizar Kinsella backing up what Felix just said. Mauricio Pochettino has told Ian Maatsen he wants him to stay at Chelsea and have begun contract negotiations. His future is still not secure with West Ham. Ajax and Lens chasing him. Look, I think Chelsea want to keep him. So I'm not worried about Ian Maatsen anymore. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea could raise as much as 400 million through funding as they approach investors over bringing in extra capital. This comes from Bloomberg. Look, some people getting excited, further 400 million, more players. I think some of this money is going to start going towards the stadium redevelopment. I don't necessarily think this is for more players and this, that, the other. Or maybe, who knows, to buy other clubs, to continue growing on that multi-club dimensional model that we're looking to pursue. But I think this money is definitely going to be for the stadium. We need somewhere around 2 billion in order to build a new stadium. So yeah, this is a start, and I'm pretty sure that we'll see more investors come through. So yeah, once again, good stuff. Clear Lake Capital definitely want to diversify their risk. They don't want to throw in all the money. They want to see if other investors come in and sort of mitigate the risk along the way. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know everything we've talked about, more specifically in regards to Kudus to Brighton, domino effect with Caicedo, Michael Olise news. Let me know in the comment section. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Sorry we couldn't do a live earlier today because we had all you can eat Chelsea, so didn't want to have another live on top of that. Definitely will be back for a live for tomorrow. So do stay tuned for that early UK time. Until next time, take care. See ya.